Hello, hi, and this is Anthony again. And in this video, I want to talk about, I want to follow up on the previous book description video and to give more variety of approaches and at least to show you that it's while there is that an approach that I always prefer the most, the one in the previous video. At times, clients will have different approaches that they like, and doesn't hurt to give variety of how get approaches that to clients, and at least to reduce the monotony of the same style. So in this video, uh, I will talk about this other style that of writing descriptions that is also popular. Clients make our clients like it, and though personally don't like using it a lot. And I hope you will learn something, and you'll at least, whenever called upon, sometimes clients will request for this specific approach. If they do, then at least you'll know what to do. So in this case, the first you start with a heading. I'll call this a heading. And this heading basically is just it is meant to hook the reader instantly to get them to want to continue reading and to know what the book will basically what is in it for them. So, for example, in this case, we are this introduction, the heading stated, you are one click away from learning how to lose weight and overcome um, GAD through diets. And uh, those are statements, those are things, those are promises you get from mostly the title and the subtitle of the book, and maybe some other subheadings, maybe in the table of contents. So give a promise what the reader is expected to get. It is the same like the subheading, and it's the same as the other heading. What I called what we called the promise in the other style, but in this case, let me just call it the heading, but pretty much the same. But now when you're done, it's straightforward. So make sure you offer a good promise. I offer a good promise. Heading, I just suggested heading stroke promise. One click from learning how to lose weight and overcome GAD through diet. So you play around with words and make sure that it is compelling enough for the reader, depending on their situation. So the next part is this part is I'll call it the hook. This is the hook. The questions in this case are structured slightly different, because the beginning is slightly different. It starts with, if you've always wanted to do ABC, then keep reading. And basically it's supposed to give the reader a sense of understanding that, yeah, this author gets me. This author understands my pain. This author understands my fantasies. This author understands my life situation. This author understands my goals in life. This author understands what I'm looking for. So if they answer yes, and in their mind, basically They're just answering yes to their thoughts. If that resonates them enough, yeah, then continue reading. The reading. That's basically that part of the hook, the first part of the hook. Then you will have a number of questions. They are still part of the hook, but that the first part does not take the same question style, but the second subsequent parts take that other style. Are you sick and tired of leading a normal life, not leading a normal life because of the constant uncomfortable painful effects of acid reflux? So basically you should understand what the reader is looking for. What pains do they experience? What are their pain points? Not every book will be about acid reflux. Understand what it is that the reader is looking to resolve or to achieve by by reading a book. What would drive somebody to want to read a book about acid reflux? They definitely have had enough of something, and that is basically what that which you should bring out. For example, in this case, somebody experiencing acid reflux, they are going through certain things. What are those things? Those are things, for example, the pain, discomfort of having acid reflux is just discomforting. That is something normal and is completely every person who has acid reflux feels the same way. So have questions that cut across different people experience uh, who will resonate with the book, the buyer persona basically. That person, what are their challenges? What is that they are facing? What is going on in their life? Bring that out nicely in your book descriptions. So have you tried endless medical interventions but nothing seems to work for more than a few weeks? Yes, the reader has not been sitting around and waiting. It's not that now they've just discovered, oh, I need help. They've probably tried so many things. For example, in our case, um, they have tried medication just to keep the acidity low. They have tried following DIY home remedies for that they have been told about, but nothing seems to work. Maybe for more than a few hours or even a few weeks. That is true because by the time you get to a point of reading a book about a certain problem that you're going through, you've tried so many things by your own. You have tried things by your own, and yeah, you make sure you bring that out nicely in your question part. And do you finally want to say goodbye to making futile efforts of trying to live with the condition, constant worries of suffering from worse conditions? If the things remain as they are, like esophageal cancer, discover something which works for you. Yeah. So basically, you give the reader the other option for if they continue waiting, what is the worst thing that can happen? Make sure you bring that out. You are giving them small doses of fear. They are already at a point where they are looking for answers. But if they are still on the fence, you want to make that purchasing decision by 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 giving them a dose of some so or just I would call it a dose of reality of what if they don't do anything? What if they don't do anything? Make sure to paint that picture of the worst that can happen if they don't do anything. If it's for example weight, they would maybe end up being morbidly obese, maybe having to incur to be seated all the to stay immobile to be immobilized for a long period, to have to go through expensive surgery, to face the risk of suffering from all manner of health problems. Those are things you need to bring out. Definitely it will depend on the topic, but paint that picture of if you don't do anything, this might happen. And there's a template for this style of book description. So I'll provide it in the book in the introduction in the video description below. But basically, that is how you should solve. You should address that part of the book description. And yeah, so if so, then you've come to that press. All this part has been hooking the reader to get in and so that they can want to know. So what is it that I can do about my problem? Because now at this point, the reader, if somebody has acid reflux, they already know that the reader understands them. They already know that the reader understands the problems that they actually go through every single day because of their problem. They know the struggles they face. Having to, for example, I'm just thinking somebody has acid reflux. They try to carry medication everywhere they go. And it just sucks because sometimes not all the time you'll have medication. And if you don't have medication, what happens? You just have to suffer the consequences of eating, and then eating when you don't have the medication for food fight acid reflux, if it is that severe to a point somebody is looking for a solution for it. So yeah, make sure that part hooks them by making them understand that you also know their pain because you know their everyday problems. You are mentioning those things that only somebody who has maybe gone through it will know. So this is now supposed to dry more like be like a break that now transitions to the next part. I would call this part the story. This is the story, but in this story is structured slightly differently. This part of the story is structured differently. As I mentioned, there's a template. It's a template that you can follow. But of course, you need to give it your own style, but without changing the structure. Give it a slightly unique style. The style don't because you don't want to end up having too much duplication of book descriptions, things that will just look completely the same. You want to give it your own style, but keeping the same structure. So in this case, you see, being completely free from the condition and achieving a healthy weight in the process doesn't have to be difficult. Even if you've taken all forms of acid reflux medications that you can count. And it is true. Somebody you are giving hope and answering objections at the same time. That is something that should come out clearly, and that is like that can come out. That has come out very clear. You are answering. You are giving the hope, the future, whatever it is. Yeah, this thing can be done. You are painting that fantasy that you're giving. You're almost like giving the reader a feeling of, yeah, this thing can be solved. Oh, even if you've done ABC and you're at the verge of giving up. So basically, that's what you do. Then, in fact, it's easier than you think because yeah, the upper part probably maybe made somebody think, yeah, right. But now from the next part, then this part is to say, yeah, it's in fact it's easier than you think. Then in that part, that is the after giving the reader that mentioning that, yeah, it's actually easier than you think. And somebody should be wondering, oh, how is it even easier? So that's the part where now you talk about, you back it up with science. So this study says this and this. It should be closely related to the topic. That's scientific. That's maybe you mentioned two scientific studies that talk about something closely related to, to, to solving the problem that maybe or the goal that the reader is looking to solve. So, for example, in this case, in a report published in One Green Planet demonstrated that the best way to treat acid reflux is through proper vegan diet. Another report published in Nutrition Facts.org asserts that a vegan diet is the best way to treat the root causes of acid reflux, citing a meta-analysis published in the National Institutes of Health. Supports the idea that the vegan diet is made up of nutritional components that directly impact some of the most important root causes of acid reflux and esophageal cancer. Those are things you need to be creative to find angles, nice good angles to angles that will blend well with the topic. Um, you want to find something close related, back it up as the science argument. Don't provide links, but make sure at least you mention the authority source. You will do another. You will do up to three steps. So after the scientific studies have been captured, to capture the scientific studies and basically to show the reader that it's actually easier than they thought, and the you then move to capturing, showing them. So because of those studies, this means you could do ABC. As I mentioned, there's a template for that you can easily follow. So basically, this should build up to the previous the whole story to this story, so that now it gets to a point of now even building to the next part, which is the questions. The bullet points. This is the question part. So what other options exist for dealing with acid reflux? Perhaps the reader has tried everything, medications and stuff like that. So what other options are there that maybe they've not tried? What brings acid reflux in the first place? Because it's likely that somebody still wonders, I've tried everything. I've tried doing keeping acid reflux at bay, but still I still continue having it. Why does it keep? Why does it? Why? What brings it in the first place? Why is it that some people don't have acid reflux? What am I doing wrong? What exactly do you? Why? How exactly do you deal with acid reflux with diet? Maybe perhaps somebody only thinks of that's only thought of medication. They have never thought about diet. How do you do it with diet? And because the book was more or less about a vegan diet, so where does the vegan diet come in this case? How do you prevent it? Is there any science for it? So basically the questions should be very specific. They should address the issues that a reader is in their situation is likely to have. Things they should be relevant. Basically, It's not that have just generic questions that don't really make a lot of sense for the situation the reader is in. And um, study the title and subtitle to understand what situation the reader is in. If those are not, if the title and subtitle are not very clear, then you'll need at least to peruse the book to understand what is it this book is supposed to achieve. Um, and you have this and other relation questions. This book is for you, so keep reading. Covers the ins and outs of acid reflux from inside out, including how to use diet to beat and prevent it. Then this basically is like a transition. It's more like this other one. So then you have come in the right place. So yeah, then this part is for the bullet points. This I mentioned this is a transition. I just labeled it as such transition. And for this bullet points, the bullet points basically it's as I mentioned in the earlier one, you're talking about just picking the specific things about in the book from mostly the table of contents. Although you could, as I mentioned, it's always prudent to go the extra mile and scroll the book to capture things that maybe the table of contents you don't capture. It's not like you just were doing the table of contents honest. You should make sure to capture something that maybe a table of content did not capture. Should not take long. Five minutes you should be done. Maybe just scrolling. 2 to 5 minutes should be done. Scrolling even a 30,000 word book. If you just keep your eyes open and you are present, you are very aware about it. So how to start dealing with acid reflux. Those are things. All these are things that are covered in the type of content. So and in the book. So make sure they are relevant. They address the issues. Basically they are descriptive enough, short and descriptive enough. Then the last part is this is the last minute objections. So dealing with last minute. So you can deal with the last minute objections by painting a fantasy picture of what the reader could achieve by taking action, which is a very creative way of doing it because you paint a picture that they cannot resist. You paint a picture that, oh man, I can't afford to not take action. You want to paint a picture that gets the reader really interested, that motivated to want to continue because there's a lot at stake. Losing that fantasy picture that they wish they could achieve. That's exactly what this part will address. Those last minute objections. Yeah, even if somebody has those objections, you just you bombard them with nice things, with a fantasy of a life that they can it will be too costly to give up. Take a moment and imagine how life would be enjoying your favorite meals without the fear of experiencing the characteristic discomfort of acid reflux with related illness. Somebody experiencing acid reflux will probably resonate with this very, very much. Just think about not having to carry medication in acid reflux medication in your pocket whenever going out. Never having to budget for acid reflux or thinking where you'll get the next drugstore to buy to buy your medication whenever you're going on a vacation because um, you know your problem. Those are things um, only people with acid reflux deal with, and Yeah, just take a moment and imagine like not having to go through all those problems. This is the same. This is you can still use the same last minute objection as in the previous style, in the previous style of book description that, as I said, that I prefer the most. Just you paint this picture that somebody can't resist. How would it feel achieving a health weight and knowing you're out of risk, suffering from serious conditions that stems from the same causes as a reflex and unhealthy body weight? Yep, this just drives the just it's basically hitting the nail on the head, so to speak, um, because it addresses issues that only somebody with acid reflux will will will, will resonate with. Those are fears, legitimate fears that they have. If you have a burning desire to know how things would happen when you're safely free from the condition, then scroll up and click buy now. With one click and buy now to get started. In this statement puts the reader in a fix because it makes them feel that if they don't take action, it seems they don't have that burning desire. More or less puts them on a point of yeah, it's on you. A point where they feel if they don't take action, it means that I'm the one who is sabotaging myself, and that means I need to take action just right now. And then this is the call to action. As I mentioned, this is pretty standard. You can try to have different variations, but always keep this part of the book description standard um, because those labels just exist as they are. See that buy now with one click for ebooks or buy now for paperback and audiobooks. And so because we don't create separate book descriptions for books. We just use the same one to for all the products. So we you can just use it as is, or just create a slight variation here and there at the beginning and at the end. Perhaps but add something like to get started to a journey to a new wildlife free um, from the troubles that come with acid reflux, for example. That should give you that should be descriptive enough and should make somebody to feel, yeah, I should take this book. So I hope you've understood everything I mentioned and how I've explained it. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a message. You can send us an email. You can send us a WhatsApp message. You could just comment here on this video. And if you want to grow this channel, so don't forget to subscribe and like. Uh, Leave a comment because it's the only way we can grow the channel, perhaps attract more people on the team to get this opportunity to continue learning, even if they are beginners. Thank you, and see you in the next one.